says in the Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 5, "But every woman who prays or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonors the Lord." But now it's not a part of Christianity to wear a head covering, except if you're a nun. Basically, the point of what I'm saying is, has Christianity changed from what it started out as? And what is holding Christianity together? Islam. I've done 6 months of research, and it seems that Islam is holding the true Christianity together, like the backbone of it. If you really read into the verses, you can see who is actually practicing this: modern day Muslims. It all makes sense. I'm waking up.
Isn't it interesting that the backbone of Christianity must be the subjugation of women? Because that's essentially what this young man is saying. You know, I've always thought that the difference between Christianity and Islam, and even as well as Judaism, is the fact that Jesus is considered to be God and worshipped in Christianity, whereas he is not worshipped and just a good prophet, a great prophet in Islam, and is a false prophet in Judaism. So therein lies the problem with those three religions. Although they claim to be of the Abrahamic faith, they diverge greatly as far as their worship of different deities, and it's very apparent that they worship different deities. But one thing that they both, all three, definitely have in common, and that is the subjugation of women. You see, you notice he only talked about a portion of that piece of scripture that they call in 1 Corinthians chapter 11. You know, it goes on and talks about the fact that women came from men, and men are the glory of God, and women are the glory of man. And although it does give women a little bit of equality by saying that, yeah, just like men, you know, are the glory of God and came from God, man is also born of woman. So there's a little bit of equality in that, but it still states that women were made for men, not men for women, and that women are under the authority of a man. So this idea of head covering, one, was actually only done because culturally, the place that these writings were done in the desert, it was normal. Excuse me for that fly right now. It was normal for a woman to, that would be the dress. The head covering was a normal thing because it's hot as hell. It's in the desert, sand and shit blowing all over the place. It was more of a cultural thing that was added to a religious thing, because before there was Christianity or Judaism or any of the other isms that we look at today, the people of the desert often wore head coverings, though especially the women wore head coverings. So it has a little bit to do with religion, but it was there before the Abrahamic religions ever came into existence. So it's a part of a culture that was made into the religion. But needless to say, when you continue to read that whole thing of Corinthians 11, that first portion of it, it is merely just trying to subjugate women under the authority of a man, saying that if a woman's head is shaven, then she is dishonoring her man, dishonored God's, you know. And it is that mindset that continues to put a thumb on women. And this is in your New Testament. So when I get Christians who say, oh, but that's the Old Testament that did women that way. No, the New Testament treats you just as unfairly. And this young man, really, he just seems to be a young man who couldn't get a woman. So he's looking for the most oppressive religion towards women that he can possibly find. And by joining that religion, he can then finally get him a woman. That's all it seems his 6 months of research is about, is he's just weak and needs to find a woman. And he could find the most submissive women in Islam. So what do you guys think? Because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe what do you guys think? Always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.